Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Sorry. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how not to have a double chin.
Okay, I think. Okay. God,
Stop eating. That's how you don't have a double chin.
Okay.
right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Hello to all of our Family Burrito listeners out there whose father joined the Army a second time so he could get off heroin, sell American products to the Germans on the black market, and smuggle hash. Welcome back to the Family Burrito. My name is Christine. My sister Jessie and I created this podcast as a way to heal our father joining the Army a second time so he could get off heroin childhood wounds, Jessie.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. Why would you join the Army?
Huh?
Why would you join the Army? Have you ever thought about joining the Army?
I was thinking about going to the Air Force when I was in high school.
Oh,
But then I found marijuana.
gotcha.
Yeah, and then that was it. I was
that's
like,
like
you can't smoke weed in the Air Force. Ah, no.
Yeah, that's a
Deuces.
criteria you can't go in.
Yeah, stupid criterias.
I almost joined the Air Force too. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think you told me like after 9/11 you were thinking about going in.
Yeah, it's when Shane and I had separated and I had no direction in life. And so I did all that. And then I had to go to Dallas for something. I don't remember what it was, but I hadn't signed yet. But I went there for, I can't remember what it was, maybe a test or something. But I had a huge panic attack when I was in Dallas and I got super lost. This was like before GPS and stuff. And I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be going in the Air Force. This is not it.
Yeah. No, and well, that's a crazy way to learn how to drive in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I've had many panic attacks in Dallas.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, like, I just look at those high five bridges and I'm just like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, you live over there? Fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different breed over there. It's crazy how close Dallas is, and it's like it's a different place. You know, you're like you're in a different country, different vibe, different people, different lifestyle. I go to Dallas to concerts or basketball games. That's kind of really about it.
Right. Yeah. And Denver is just like, it reminds me of Austin.
Yeah.
But remember that one time we went to Austin and we met this girl at a bar and she was like, yeah, I feel like the vibes in Austin are because of the aquifers underneath the city. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that often. I don't know why. I'm like, why is that random fact just live free in my head?
Oh, that sounds like isn't that like a TikTok thing? What random fact lives free in your head?
That.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really funny. I love that. Yeah, I love Austin. Austin is a great town.
And we're gonna go in March. What?
We're going in March, and we got to redeem the last experience I had when I was in Austin. I went down there for my friend Beth's, her cousin, nephew, whatever he is, for his like 21st birthday. And so we had the hotel and we were going to go like hit the gay bars and all that. And we did, and we were going, from bar to bar. And then one of our friends who was with us got super wasted within an hour. I don't know if she was on other things, but she was getting lost, couldn't find her driver's. I'm like, it's only been an hour. You don't know where your driver's license is. And slurring the words, and I wasn't feeling safe. So Braden and I, her nephew, cousin, whatever he is, we kind of went on our own and we hit the gay club, and we were having such a great time. And then the rest of the group showed up, and then we were going to go. It was like almost midnight. We were like, let's go. I think we're going to go back to the hotel. because the one that we were, the one that got super drunk was even more drunk,
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. And so she was a handful. So, and a mouthful. And so as we're walking out, my friend Beth, like the curbs in Austin, they're not even, like you'll have them high and then they'll like dip real low and without you even realizing it, they're all uneven. It's very strange. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
Dad fell on one too.
So as we're coming out, actually, and Braden and I started walking off because we were going to get an Uber or Mercedes Uber to come pick us up. We were in our own world, we were
Right.
having a good time. We were trying to like stay away from the drunk slurring drama. And so, so my friend Beth like walked out and missed the curb, and we kind of hear this commotion, and Braden's like, I think we need to go back, and she's on the ground and had broken her tib fib, bones in her feet and ankle. And so so we got to call the ambulance, and then the ambulance couldn't find us because there was GPS issues. And so we just hear it and see it. So what's funny is, oh, and by the way, it was like, it had drizzled, and that was part of the issue. Like, so she had slipped, fell, because it was drizzling. And so, what do you do in a crisis like that if you're at a gay club? Well, if you're at the gay club, some dude like randomly say, as she's on the ground in shock, like you could totally tell she was in shock because she was pale as a ghost and her foot was all deformed. And then you have all these nurses, it's a group of nurses, kind of been drinking some. They're like, I don't know, we need to go to the ER. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yes, we need to. I'm calling the ambulance now because it is obviously deformed. It is. I mean, I was like,
Yeah.
And they're ICU nurses who are like, but they were all drinking. So anyways, so we're waiting on the ambulance. We can hear it and then we can start seeing it, but it doesn't come down our street, and then of course Beth was like, no, I don't need to go. We're like, yes, we're going to have them carry you in the ambulance. Nobody was thinking clearly. Right. So, so all of a sudden this gay guy or staff member from the gay club comes running out and throws ice, like all this ice, like at her feet. So I was like, okay, so we got drizzled curbs, and she's got some broken bones, and let's throw some ice around the area, as they're going to lift her up. Let's get a banana peel too while we're at it and just throw that. So, yeah, it was like I felt like I was in a cartoon, because
people react funny when people get hurt, dude.
Nobody was making good decisions.
Yeah, no, I like when I broke my femur, Michael put my motorcycle back up. He looked at my bike before he looked at me. Mm-hmm. I was like, that was a dickhead movie. It was like, I was just hoping you'd walk it off.
Yeah. Well, everybody's just, you got alcohol, you got, rain and gayness and all this stuff. And what do you say, the aquafloor? I don't know, like
the aquafloor and all.
Yeah, so the sharks in the ground. I don't know, like in the dance floor. So so there's just it was just a total setup for a whole bunch of comedy. So so she ended up going to the ER and then getting like emergency surgery, which they don't quote me, but they botched it because she had many issues after that, infections and with the hardware, and it was just crazy. She ended up having to get IV antibiotics for 6 weeks at home, and it was a very tough recovery for her.
That sounds
yeah, and it was the weekend, and so they were like, well, she's ready to go, but she can't walk. And so we don't have a wheelchair, we don't have a walker. And so it was so crazy because then we had a plan on like, how are we going to get her back? Like, because she's got to lay in the back, And so it was nuts. I felt so bad for her because, she doesn't do that very often. And then look what happens,
Right. Well, I'm glad Dad didn't break his ankle, but fuck, I think he was just too drunk. I think he was too limber.
Yeah.
But it was right after I yelled at this lady at the hot dog stand. because Dad was trying to buy everybody hot dogs. And I was like, you know, he was drunk and he was just being himself, trying to being friendly. And then this lady with like tattoos all over her face, she was like, "Sir, you need to move along." She basically gave him attitude, and I was like, "Bitch, I'm the only one that can talk to him like that."
Yeah.
And I like went up to her and I was like, "I'm about to knock those ugly ass tattoos off your face if you talk to him like that again." And then he tripped.
Oh God. Oh my God. Of course. Karma said, "Check, please."
I was like, "Oh geez." Dad,
That's funny.
Stay cool.
Yeah. Stay cool. Stay in school. You know, make
Don't
it great. Don't get stressed.
But that's, I'm glad. Is she walking better now?
Yeah, she's fully recovered.
Oh, that's good.
But part of it was these damn shoes that I don't know what the brand is, but she gets them at Dillard's and they're like these fancy sandals. And I'm like, you should not wear these anymore. They don't stabilize your feet, you know? And so anyways, I'm like, you throw these damn shoes away. They're triggering me right now. I just spit everywhere. I wonder if anybody just saw that. Like I just spit everywhere.
You're so triggered. Well, I just went to a sports chiropractor for my femur break because the exercises that I was given like are way too easy. So I was like, I need something tougher. And boy, did he give it to me. Well, that sounds dirty. Boy, did he give me some other tough exercises.
Was this the fake sports chiropractor?
Yeah, no, they were great, honestly. I recommend them. If you're in the Denver area, it's Mile High Sports and Spine.
I love how everything is mile high.
Yeah, fuck yeah, baby.
Yeah. Mile High sex shop.
Right. You know, it's I want to make spine and sport. I'm sorry guys, but anyway, it's owned by two guys, and the one I met was really great, so I'm excited. Like maybe I'll actually start walking normal, because right now like one leg goes this way and I'm like,
uh-oh.
and my x-rays look normal, right? So
it's just retraining your brain is what it is.
And also I have no I can't even really do a side plank on my right side because I have like no butt muscle right now. Like I have plenty of butt muscle on my left but not my right. And it's, you know, like got to rebuild my butt muscle.
Because
that has like a lot to do with the alignment of how your knees go and all the other things. But he explained to me like my femur angle and everything, and how like I like already walked inward, like my toes go inward. And some people like are outward, you know. And
like a little penguin.
And I'm like a little duck. And
that made me snort.
And anyway, so like when they put that titanium rod in, he explained to me like that changed my angle like dramatically more inward.
So you're more of a duck.
More of a duck. Yeah. And like, and it's worse because my knee's still so swollen. So like, and if you like look at my legs, like my left leg looks so much smaller than my right leg. It's insane. Like the swelling is still so insane. And I'm over it.
So, well, how long has it been? How many months has it been? Doesn't it? Because I know it takes probably like 4, and I know like it takes probably at least 6 months to a year for a full like recovery, right?
He said it's gonna be like a year for full recovery, but like I don't know. I'm too active for this. I need it to be faster. And I feel like if I go to a sports chiropractor, like they'll make it faster. Because if I were like a football player or like somebody that were like an actual like professional athlete, I feel like I'd be on the field again, or you know what?
Right.
So I want to get back. Like I want that. Like I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm an athlete, but I should like treat yourself like you want, like what you want to be. Right? Like
right. And that's whatever.
My cat's playing in a bag.
Oh Lord.
Cat's out of the bag.
Why are cats such assholes?
Because they're cats. they're kin to lions.
God, my cat is just sometimes just an asshole. And I know he does stuff he's trying to get my attention, knocking over the water and cutting me off when I'm walking in the hallway because I'm going towards his food bowl and I take it right to the kitchen and then he cuts me off, And I'm like, are you trying to kill me? Like, I don't know
Yes.
what is that what's happening? Murder?
Yes, they're trying to murder you. Carl will literally walk, like he'll lay on the step because I have stairs in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just lay on a step and be like, "Oh, you want to walk here?"
Yeah.
Like, what an asshole. There he goes playing that bag again. I'm glad he's enjoying it.
You like froze.
Oh, did it freeze? Okay.
Yeah.
Am I back?
You like went to a portal and came back out.
Oh.
But it says my internet is unstable, just like me.
Well, it's kind of funny because I forgot to charge my iPad.
Yeah.
I'm at 10%, so I thought I was lagging because I forgot to charge my iPad.
Yeah.
Like, it's on the charger now.
But you changed your maxi pad.
Yeah, you have to change that, ladies, and whoever else wants to just wear one for fun. He wants.
Yeah.
Keep freezing.
I know.
froze.
It's crazy. So how's your week been going?
Pretty good. Yesterday we went up to Keystone. My friend Landry and his boyfriend Cole. Landry broke his arm rollerblading, or his elbow, and so his boyfriend was like, "I want to go skiing." So Landry invited me to go, be a gimp with him at bars and stuff, and it was fun. Like, we went bar hopping in the mountains.
Nice.
Nothing better than that, especially like ski country. Everybody's just walking around with their snowboard or their skis.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I remember when I first had alcohol when I lived up there with you and Dad briefly back in the day. And I remember taking a drink and like I felt drunk already. I was like, why am I so wasted already? Like, what in the world? And I didn't even realize like that altitude part,
Yeah. And it's funny because now when I go like closer to sea level, it's hard for me to get drunk. Like, last time I went to Florida, I literally took 12 shots of tequila and felt sober.
Wow. Is it the same with like smoking weed?
Well, I mean, for some people, but for me, I don't know, I get high everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But a random fact about Dad, though, he was like, yeah, I had to pay to Amsterdam to slow down because he didn't we went to Europe, and he didn't get as fucked up as he normally does. And he was like, yeah, I was expecting to get way, way more fucked up. So
he's disappointed.
Yeah. So maybe there's something about that European altitude.
I have no idea. So you're out of welding school. So what have you been kind of doing with your time besides going to the sports therapy people?
So basically like learning geometry, like trying to basically understand basic geometry because I never paid attention in high school. Go me. So
geometry was hard for me. That was it's shapes and measurements, like angles and degrees, like
right.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty good at angles, but it was all the shapes.
Yeah.
And then like the math that goes into making a template, like when you're dealing with pipe, like, let's say you have like a piece of pipe and you're like trying to fit it up to another piece of pipe, like you have to round it out, to fit the pipe you're like welding it to, right? It can't just like go into each other.
Yeah.
So like you have to find like the diameter and the circumference and shit.
Yeah.
There's math. And that's not something I ever did and ever cared about. And then now I'm like, oh, well, if I actually want to do this, I'm gonna have to fucking learn.
Well,
So
what's just so funny to me, because like that running joke when you're like in high school or in school, and oh, you're never going to use this in the real world.
yes, you do.
Yeah, you actually do. You actually do use this in the real world. That is society's conditioning, Jessie.
So yeah, that's why my geometry teacher looked at me like I was a dumbass.
Yeah.
When I said, I'm never gonna use this in the real world, he was like, you just jinxed yourself, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna definitely need it now.
Yeah. For
Because
sure.
he was an adult and understood how the universe fucks with people.
Yeah.
You have to be of a certain age before you realize that, I think.
Yeah.
Like possibly 18 at the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
But how about you? How's your week?
My week's been okay. Of course, I feel like that's all I talk about. Work. And it's just been frustrating because we have most of our clients are at the hospital against their will involuntarily. Basically, the police brought them in with they call it a detention warrant. Because they were either a danger to themselves or others or both, or maybe not eating. And so because of that, there's a whole legal mental health court process that we have to deal with. In the county I'm in, it's one of the fastest moving mental health courts. And so we're constantly doing all this legal paperwork, and there's a whole bunch of stuff to that because it has to be perfect. And I can't sign this paperwork because in Texas, nurse practitioners can't testify in mental health court hearings and can't do the paperwork. So I have to hunt down a doctor. And so I spend several hours that has nothing to do with patient care. And it's just so frustrating because I'm so ready to have my own private practice, because half of that will be gone. That's where I'll get my time back, because it's just infuriating. Because I'll also, at the same time of all this going on, multiple messages from the social workers, multiple messages from the nurses, like needing this, needing that, and then my phone ringing, like the DA is calling, what are we going to do with this patient? And so it's just, it's exhausting. It's just really
Do
exhausting.
they have a special term for it? Because I know in California it's called like 5280 or something like that.
Do they have a special what for it?
Like term?
Not really. I mean, they have the legal documents, it is.
Because I know like in California it's called 5280, right? So like people will be like, I got 5280, man. And you're like, what the fuck is that? And basically you got detained. Like
I thought it was a 5150 because
Brittany. Oh, 5150. Yeah.
That's because I always go, we got a 5150.
That's right. Yeah. I knew it was like one of those numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, I always do that. I'm like, bringing them in. We got a 5150.
All right.
With the white coats just want to help you, not to my clients. I say that to my friends, but anyway, so I'm just kind of like tired of that. And then so because of this whole work draining thing, I've just sort of felt out of my creative flow with the podcasting stuff. And so I had one of my friends that I have met, Willie Porter. He is the co-host of The Thing About Us. We've talked about him before. He was on my podcast, How Coronavirus Saved My Life. And I interviewed him kind of about his kind of Black experience living in Louisville, Kentucky. Anyways, so we decided we're going to be like podcast mentors, or not mentors, accountability partners. And right so on. We had a meeting last night, and I was ready because I was like, I told him, I said, I just feel like I'm in a podcast funk. And he's so sweet. He said, you have a blog, you have 2 podcasts, you have all these social media sites, you're working full time. And he like went through this list, and he said, and I haven't even mentioned your daughter. And he said, when was the last time you took a break? And I was like, I don't even think I answered his question. What's the break? What is a break? What does that look like? Because I don't watch TV or anything like that. But also too, part of me is I feel like I'm in the second part of my life because I'm divorced and I have figured out really the things I'm passionate about. And so I sort of because it does light me up. It gives me energy when I get in that flow. Like I feel satisfied and fulfilled. And so it's hard to get to that place, that creative flow, because I'm being drained by this, 8 to 5 place. So
Right.
anyways, we had a really good talk, and we met for like an hour, and it was just really nice. I was thinking, I was like, I've never had anyone ever, like in our family, growing up, like, when was the last time you took a break? Did anybody ever ask you that, Jessie?
No, that was unheard of.
Yeah. So, I think I'm gonna start asking Sophia that, like, well, she always is taking breaks, but I'm like, when's the last time you took a break? I mean, but quite frankly, she takes a lot of breaks because she's a projector. She's a human design projector, Jessie, like you. But anyway, but after our conversation, because I've been having, guests on my podcast. I really don't do too many solo episodes anymore because I haven't gotten in that like solo creative flow. And so after my conversation with him last night, man, it hit me. Like, I recorded an episode. I'm going to publish it in the morning, a solo episode about the childhood story that we all tell ourselves, that's built upon and built by the broken people we were raised by, and how that story still plays a part in our current life. And kind of the techniques I use, which was, I started observing my thoughts, and because I read that Dr. Joe Dispenza book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, where he said 90% of the thoughts that you think were the same ones you thought the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. And so I remember I was like, really? I don't know. We'll see. So I was at work. This was last year. I was at work, and I was like, okay, I'm going to observe my thoughts now. And then I was like, what was I just thinking about? And I said, oh my God, I'm still thinking about that bitch from a week ago that was rude at work. Like, oh, I'm still thinking about that bitch, how rude she was. And I was like getting angry. And I said, oh my God, And so, and then I was looking at my journals, like from last year, kind of around this time. And there was something going on where I felt like everything was my fault, and feeling rejection and all this stuff because this other person's behavior, and asking myself the question, what else could this mean? And what is the thing that is blocking me right now from my soul's purpose? What is the emotion? What is the thing? And so that's when I realized not everything's my fault. Not everything's anyone's fault. You know what I mean? And so people's behaviors have nothing to do with you. Like, you know what I mean? That's nothing to do with you. It's right. To do with them and their story that was built by broken people.
Right. Yeah, and I have to remind myself that every single time I, like, with any friend, not just my roommate Michael, I almost said my Michael, because like he's almost like a brother to me, but we didn't have the same parents. But even though like we had the same dad, we didn't have the same dad.
Right.
So like we had different experiences with our dad.
Yep.
And when people are like, they ask, well, what was your sister's relationship with your dad? And I was like, I mean, I think that it was just like trying to be copacetic with each other. Like and dad and I were so much alike that we just wanted to fist fight all the time. Well, I wanted to punch him in the face. He has a very punchable face. And I was like ready for it. And actually, as I realized by watching a documentary today about a bodybuilder who shot her husband, how aggressive I can be, but how like silly it looks, like to outsiders. Yeah. Even though we feel like Billy Badass, other people will be like, you look funny right now. Sit down. I realized that dad and I, at a certain point in my life, we would literally like get in physical altercations almost daily. Like it wasn't just him either. It was me going to him and trying to like be the aggressor. Yes. And because for what I had to like prove myself, I don't know, really, there's more to break down in that
Yep.
part of my childhood. But it clicked to me when I was watching this documentary today. And I was like, damn, dude, like that's why you like extreme sports and you like to be strong and you like those types of things because you want to show these boys like I can also do this too, bitch. And I think that was like, yeah, me trying to always prove something to dad. Like I'm actually, I don't know. I felt like he was also such a little bitch sometimes. I needed to like ruffle his feathers so he'd stop being such a little bitch.
Yeah.
Because he was also a hopeless romantic, and it bothered the fuck out of me that he would let these women take advantage of him like he did. And I'm like, why are you such a weakling? Like, stop.
Yeah. Well, that's Grandma Lou's her story. That's his story was built on. But yeah, so
yeah, right.
our as human beings, our nervous system, as human beings, our brains, our entire beings, we are wired for connection at birth. But what happens is we get rewired by these people, dad, mom, whatever, who rewire us instead of connection for protection, fight or flight, freeze, fawn, shut down. And so, and by the way, this starts in the womb. So whatever your mom was going through, it was already wiring your system differently. Okay.
Right.
So like when I was in my mom's womb, you know, our dad was an alcoholic and I wasn't there. I mean, I was in the womb, but I guess I was there. You know, she's told me, I mean, she obviously was going through stress because the pictures of her when she's the month that she gave birth to me in August, she's skinny. You can't even tell she's pregnant. So she's obviously under stress. You know, he was terrorizing her. He was drunk. You know, he would tell her things like, don't ever get fat, you know, those kinds of things. And so, so I was already getting pre-wired.
Dad hated fat people.
Yeah. So weird.
It's because he had a fear of being fat.
Oh, Well, what about why did he hate black people? Did he have fear of being black?
He had a fear of being perceived as white trash or trashy because he was the black sheep of the family, and everybody in the family thought he was trashy. Like literally everybody, even his own mom.
Well, anyway, so the fact, so you were rewired, your connection was rewired for protection for the fight. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were consciously seeking that out with him, like trying to like prove that, you know, your nervous system, you and dad's nervous systems were so dysregulated around each other. And that's why you guys were not, your nervous systems were dysregulated, mismatched. And so that's why there was no connection, you know?
Yeah. And the only time we did connect was when we were drunk.
Yeah, because you were calm, you calm in your nervous system, smoking weed, calm in your nervous system, but that only lasts so long, right? And then you're back to square fucking one, as my friend Corey says.
Yeah, I mean, who actually tries to get in a fist fight like in the middle of Paris, like right next to the me.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you getting in a fight about?
Dad was trying to hand me a joint and I wasn't paying attention and he had said something like vulgar. And I turned around and threw up my deuces and I was like, let's go, motherfucker. I was so drunk. Like that would have been a funny looking fight.
What did he do how did he react to that?
He just said, are you really trying to fight me in the middle of Paris right now?
That's amazing.
And I looked around and I was like, there's the Eiffel Tower. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then we stepped down and I apologized. I was like, I'm sorry. Like I just heard something vulgar come out of your mouth and I was like, fuck you, motherfucker. And
you were reacting with your reptilian part of your brain that was drunk. Right.
Correct. Right. And at that point, our relationship was okay, but like I feel like alcohol just really changed him in the end. Like, you know, it was no longer talking to the same person. It was now talking just to somebody that was always going to be correct, no matter what. There was no conversation anymore.
Right. Well,
I'm at 4% on my iPad. I messed up.
That's okay. Oops. Yeah, he it's funny because like in that encyclopedia of book of birthdays, it's like the birthday of the last word is what his birthday is called. And then in his human design, his head energy center is defined, meaning they will rarely do they change their mind. Once they have what something is, like, it is hard to change their minds.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess I'll probably have to end early because I forgot to charge my iPad.
Well, that's okay, as long as you change your maxi pad, Jessie.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that right now.
Okay. Well, I love you, baby girl. I love you, baby
Right.
girl. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.